with the first point of the characteristics of super. Now, we said before, and we repeat today briefly, that a super teacher controls the classroom. And this is a major point. And it is number one for a reason. Because as we said before, you may be an excellent driver, teacher in the analogy, you may be riding an excellent car, classroom or students, but if you don't have a steering wheel, you will not be able to drive the car, which is classroom control. So, you may be the best teacher in the world, but if you can't control the classroom, it's simply useless. So the first point is classroom management, controlling the classroom, and we have a whole 6 hours in workshop and assignments on discipline, classroom management, instructional design. This is still coming, okay? But briefly, we must control the classroom. Now, it goes without saying, teachers must establish an orderly classroom before they can teach effectively, before they can teach anything. Number two, super teachers, and this is what we want to stress on, prepare for classroom disruptions before they begin. And this is a major point here. I don't wait for classroom disruptions to happen to deal with them. And remember, I said something last time, we'll repeat again today towards the end of the workshop. Good teachers, super teachers, are proactive. They are not reactive. Always keep this in mind. I don't wait for things to happen to react. I take the initiative. I am proactive. I always start. That's why I'm a teacher. Super teachers prepare for classroom disruptions before they happen. How? Many, many ways. We will discuss in more details, but basically we have here imagining likely scenarios. And imagining here may not be a very accurate word. It's not fiction. It's not imagination. It means anticipating or expecting what will happen in a disorderly classroom. Exactly. We will cover this today in one of the new points. Thank you. So, how to prepare? By knowing your students and by preparing likely scenarios before they even happen. If you're a new teacher, what to do? Speak with better teachers, with older teachers. Watch them, observe them, and try to see what happens. What are common disruptions? Read about them. Watch videos. Know what common disruptions in the classroom are. Think about what you will do. Discuss your findings and your opinions with someone who has more experience and better at classroom management than yourself, and see what they think about your methods, and then finally reach a solution. When something happens in the classroom that you have expected or anticipated, you will smile because you have it all ready, and your plan will be executed immediately, and the students will behave when they find you ready to control the classroom. You don't have to wait and think and see what's going to happen. What am I going to do? I'm already ready. So, the best way to prevent classroom misbehavior, of course, is to eliminate the opportunity for misbehavior to happen. As we said last time, seating arrangements are very, very important. If I know that these two students will disrupt my classroom, then I will not seat them next to each other. Okay? There are certain things that I can do to make sure that my class has minimal opportunity for disruption or misbehavior. A properly constructed, student-centered lesson plan, and I am going to give you a hint here for something that is coming up. We should be expected to submit a lesson plan, okay, that reflects all that we've learned together by the end of this course. So keep it in mind, please, whenever we talk about anything that has to do with the lesson plan, make sure you know that you are expected to give in a lesson plan. Okay? About what? I'm going to tell you now. So the best way to prevent classroom misbehavior is to eliminate the opportunity for it to happen. A properly constructed, student-centered lesson plan is your best friend. And here we have two keywords, which are properly constructed, thank you, properly constructed basically means that you have divided your lesson plan into the three main parts of a lesson: beginning, middle, and end. Thank you. And this is something, again, that we will discuss in a lot more details when we have our next session which is called Pedagogy and Instructional Design, which is basically how to plan a lesson. Don't forget to overplan. Student-centered we'll visit today in the video. Don't forget to overplan. And this is one of the major opportunities for misbehavior to happen. When you are under-planned. When time is up, when your time is up, when you don't have anything else to say, but the bell still didn't ring. You have 5 extra minutes, and you're done. You have nothing more to do. Always overplan and make sure you have something extra to do, just in case. Exactly. And we said that this should basically be done in the form of 5 to 10 minute worksheets that you can give to the students anytime. Okay. Make lessons enjoyable, and of course, we all know that if students enjoy what they're learning, they will learn it much better. And this, of course, can be discussed later on, and today we will touch on it in our video discussion at the end of the class. Number 2, a super teacher is clear. And we talked before about what clarity here means. We said that super teachers are clear in mainly 2 things. In their instruction and in their expectations. It is very important that the students understand exactly what you are teaching. And this is clarity in instruction. Sometimes, all of us, okay, all of us, explain something. And in the middle of our explanation, we get this feeling inside that they don't understand. And a lot of us just keep on explaining. And then, to just be happy with ourselves, we ask, understood? They of course say yes, we just go on and life goes on. But they didn't understand. So sometimes you yourself have a feeling that what you just said is not understood. You have to be clear. In your instruction, you have to make sure that they understand. And to be sure that they understand what I have taught, there is something called a what assessment, remember? It starts with an F. Formative, very good. What is a formative assessment? A formative assessment is something that gives me back information, feedback, exactly, okay? So I must use this throughout the lesson to make sure that they understand. I can't trust their yeses and their nos. I need to give them something, and by judging their responses, know whether they understand or not. Second point, clarity in expectations. Thank you. Clarity in expectations. What does that mean? It means that the students should know exactly what I expect of them, what I expect of them in terms of behavior, and what I expect of them in terms of work. I expect them to hand in their work on time. I expect them to hand in their work handwritten or typed. I expect them to hand in their work in a folder. I expect them to hand in their work in the morning. I expect them, to be neat. Exactly. These are not things that should come every day. Like, no, it's not in a folder. And then give it to me again tomorrow. And when it comes again in a folder, no, it's not neat. Get it to me again tomorrow. They shouldn't feel that you simply don't know what you want. You should be very clear from the very beginning of your expectations. Yes?
It was very easy to establish that the two of them are having sequence, like in the unit.
Excellent.
But here I have a problem that because every period there's a different teacher.
And everyone has different. Excellent. This is a very, very important point. Remember, our 5th core foundation was cooperation. And when we talk about cooperation, this also means cooperation between the teachers teaching a certain class. Okay? Something we will again see in today's video. If you have expectations of a child in your lesson, but the other teacher has different expectations or a different method, sometimes difference is good. You don't all have to be the same. But there should be a general outline, okay, bold lines that tell all the teachers what their general expectations or their general rules with the students are. And then every teacher can add or modify a little. And this is in the hands of the administration first and foremost. The administrators must be able to tell the teachers that we're teaching this class, we're going to establish certain rules, and the teachers must put the rules. You can't, as an administrator, force them to do any rules that you think are right. Teachers themselves have to put the rules, but they must agree on rules that will work with the whole class. In our class today, some of you are heads of departments. Some of you are responsible for certain grade levels, okay? Please keep this in consideration. Everything that we're saying, collaboration, cooperation. Make sure the teachers all have some outline to follow, and that they themselves are the ones who put this, and that they believe in it, so they can carry it out perfectly. Thank you very much. In a clear lesson, students know what they should do and what they should learn. Now, this here, the first point, is in the broader sense. It's about the whole class and every day. The second one is about each lesson, each particular lesson or subject. Yes, but the way we learn it, or the way we say it, is like you just said, writing the objectives. It's not only about writing the objectives, it's also about teaching the objectives. So I can write the objectives. A lot of teachers do that. They write the objectives right here before the class comes in, which is the way it's supposed to be, and then they just briefly read it, and then they go on with the lesson. It is important for students to know from day one that every lesson we have something called objectives. And objectives in your mind should be the answer to the question all parents ask their children. What did you learn in school today? And most children say, I'm not sure, I don't know, nothing. Something that had to do with order of something. I don't remember what it's called. Okay, something like that. This being so vague reflects that they did not get the message of the objective of today's lesson. So the objective is something essential that we should start as teachers and make sure that the students understand what an objective is. It's what they should learn at the end. And that I will give you a test later on the objective, on what you learn. So you need to know what you're learning so you can understand how to do better later. So, in a clear lesson, students should know what they should do and what they should learn. What they should learn is the objective. What they should do is how to carry out the lesson. And if you remember last time, we said we can use big posters like this for different classroom routines. For example, if I want to speak and then whenever I ask a question, I want just someone to answer right away because the momentum is fast, then I put up a poster with a picture of a rocket, for example. And I teach the students at the beginning of the year, when this is up, it means when I ask a question, whoever knows the answer, shouts the answer. And then I'm going to a different part of my lesson where I need the students to think for 1 whole minute before even raising their hands. I put the poster of the person raising his hand with a 1-minute sign, for example. Okay? You can, of course, modify this for different age groups. And then, when I want the students to raise their hands right away, but they can't speak, I put a different poster. I teach them methods of how to behave during the class. And most students really stick to the rules once they know that there are rules. And again, today our power teaching video will show you how a classroom can be so organized and so cooperative and yet so attentive in split seconds. Okay? And next time we're going to show you something even further on the same method. Now,